Hello pre-calculus students and general seekers of truth. We are going to talk about problem number 21 here. And this is really just writing equations. Okay, it's a very underemphasized skill that's actually used quite a bit. How do we write an equation to model a particular instance or a particular practical application? So here we're asked that a rectangle has a perimeter of 20 meters. Express the area of the rectangle as a function of the length of one of its sides. So let's say here we start with a picture, all right, and this is a rectangle, so the opposite sides here are congruent, so let's call these lengths x and these lengths y on the sides here, all right. And we know that the perimeter is equal to 2x plus 2y. That's pretty standard. But we want to express the area of this as a function of one of its sides. Well, we also know the area of a rectangle is one length times the other length. But the problem here is that we have the area expressed as two variables, and we need to express it as only a function of one of the variables. So in other words, we're looking for something like the area A of x is equal to something, right? Another way to illustrate this is kind of like thinking of this as a function machine. You put in one side length, whatever that is, and it spits out the area. Okay? The way that we have it written here is correct, but it doesn't answer the question, and it's not very useful because this machine, as we have described it here, involves two inputs. Right? In order to figure out the area, you have to know the length of both sides. Well, what if I only want to know the length of, what if I want to find the area using, only the length of one side? Okay. So to do this, I'm going to have to I'm going to have to use both of these equations and then make a couple of substitutions. Okay. So let's go back to this part here, the perimeter. Right. The number 21 here says the perimeter is 20 meters. So in other words, we can take this equation and replace it with 20 equals 2x plus 2y. Okay. And then the second equation here is a is equal to x times y. I'm going to rewrite both of them down here just so that we have a little bit more space to work with. Okay, so 20 is equal to 2x plus 2y, and area is equal to x plus y, x times y rather. Right. So now what I'm going to do is just simplify one equation and then use it to substitute into the other. So I can divide both of these by 2, so I get 10 equals x plus y. And then I am going to solve for y. I'm going to get rid of y in this other equation. So 10 minus x is equal to y. Then I'm going to take this and substitute it into the area equation. So the area is equal to x times y, but y is equal to 10 minus x. So I'll write it this way. Okay. And you see, now that we get it down to one variable, we can describe it as a function of one variable, x times 10 minus x. Okay. And we've accomplished what we've set out to do, which is we get one input. Okay, so this is kind of nice. All I need to know is the length of one side. If I know the length of that one side only, I can figure out its area. The reason I can do that is because its perimeter is always 20 meters long. Okay, so a lot of times these questions are really, asking you to think through a process. We're so used in mathematics to finding a single numerical answer. This is just kind of asking you to work through a process. Because after you figure out the process and this particular formula, finding numerical answers are relatively easy and straightforward from there. Alright, as always, ask for help if you need it. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.